Before the eviction notice, they were already being watched. Every morning, same house, same family. Someone across the street was writing everything down. Gloria Carter did not sleep. Not the way you don't sleep because something is keeping you up. The other kind, where you lie still in the dark, with your eyes closed and your body going through the motions of rest while your mind sits at a table. It will not leave, and runs the same numbers it has been running for weeks. The reserve account. The 4 months. The 4 months and 3 weeks. If she opens the account, she is not touched since her mother died. Neither number gets them to 90 days on its own. She has checked this math so many times, it has stopped feeling like math and started feeling like a wall. She gets up at 5:15, same as always. The candle, the jar, the particular sound of a match in a quiet house. The flame takes hold, and in the small circle of light it throws across the kitchen counter, Gloria Carter stands in the dark and looks at nothing and breathes. She's not afraid. That is the thing you need to understand about this woman. She is not afraid. She has stood in harder kitchens than this one. She has lit this candle on worse mornings than this one. Fear is the thing that makes you go still, and Gloria Carter has never in her life gone still. She is doing what she always does when the walls are moving. She's getting up first, getting to the kitchen before the day does, lighting the candle and making the coffee and standing in the quiet that belongs only to her for the few minutes before this house wakes up and needs her to be ready for what it needs. Last night, James put the reclassification form on the table. Last night, Marcus told them about Diane Foster and the 48 hours. Last night, in the dark at the living room window, Gloria watched her husband hold that envelope he has carried for 19 years. The one she has never asked about. The one that has been in his wallet since he was 39 years old. And she said to him, "You still can." And she meant it with everything she had. She still means it this morning. She hears the small sound from the back room, then the hallway, then the kitchen doorway. Nia, pajamas, the rabbit dragging on the floor behind her. They're 4 years old and already awake at 5:15. The same internal clock as her grandmother, inherited without either of them knowing it. She does not say anything. She just crosses the kitchen and presses herself against Gloria's leg and stands there, the two of them, in the candlelight. Gloria puts her hand on top of Nia's head. Outside, on the street that has been this family street for 31 years. A car. Dark, engine off. Not the same one as yesterday. Different plates. Same spot. Same stillness. The same notebook open on the passenger seat. The same neat handwriting. A new entry beginning at the top of a fresh page. Gloria Carter. Kitchen light. 5:15 a.m. The child is with her. The person writing this has been writing it every morning for 11 days. They are not in a hurry. They've already written everything they need about this family. Where they go, what time they leave, when they come back. They have the mother and the father and both sons, and the daughter and the granddaughter. They have the candle in the window. They have the folder. They have a name. Diane Foster. Superior Avenue. 3 visits in 1 week. They close the notebook. They do not start the car. They can wait. Inside the kitchen, the candle burns. Nia leans into her grandmother's leg. Gloria Carter looks out at the street and sees nothing but the dark, and decides, the way she decides everything, quietly and completely and without fanfare, that today she's going to find out what is in that box. the one on the high shelf in the hall closet, the one she has not opened in 11 years. Marcus comes downstairs at 6 with his folder. It is thicker than it was last night. He sat at the kitchen table until midnight, adding to it 7 more pages, 3 more corporate filings, a chain of title document he found in the Cuyahoga County Recorder's database that connects Sunrise Development Group to 2 other companies he had not seen before. He does not know yet what those connections mean. He knows they mean something. James Carter leaves for the factory at 5:45. He comes out the front door in his work coat, his lunch in the same bag he has carried for 22 years, and he walks down the porch steps and along the sidewalk to his car. He does not look at the sedan across the street. He walks past it the way a man walks past something he has decided not to give the satisfaction of being acknowledged. He gets in his car. He pulls away. The sedan does not move. Inside it, the notebook opens again. A hand adds 1 more line beneath the entry from 5:15. James Carter. Factory. 5:45 a.m. Someone has been building a file on this family. They've been building it since before the letter arrived. Before she leaves for work, Gloria goes to the hall closet for her coat. She reaches past the umbrella and the stack of Marcus's old textbooks, and her hand finds the coat, and she pulls it out. And then she stops. The box is still there. Small, wooden, brass latch, the size of a large book. Locked. 11 years on that shelf, and she has not opened it once. This morning she looks at it longer than she ever has. Not 2 seconds. Closer to 10. Her hand rests on the closet door, and she stands in the hallway of her own house in the early morning quiet, and she thinks about what she decided at 5:15, with Nia pressed against her leg and the candle burning and the dark outside the window. Then she closes the closet, buttons her coat, picks up her bag, goes to work. She's not changed her mind. She's just not ready yet. There's a difference, and Gloria Carter knows exactly which one she is in. Nia saw her grandmother stop at the closet. She saw the way Grandma's hand went still on the door before she closed it. Nia had noticed the box before. The wooden one on the high shelf that nobody ever took down. She had asked about it once, and Grandma had said it was just some old things and changed the subject. Nia filed this under the same category as the car across the street and the letter that made Grandpa's face go different. Things that grown-ups knew about and were not ready to explain yet. She was keeping a list. Tyler comes downstairs at 6:30. He sits at the table and eats cereal and holds his phone and does not look at it, which is the thing that tells you he is thinking about it. Deshawn sent 3 messages overnight. Tyler has not answered any of them. He is still telling himself he is deciding. Nia is at the table with her cereal and her rabbit. She watches her uncle eat. Then she looks out the window at the street. He was wrong. She had seen the car clearly. It was a dark blue one this time. Not the black one from before, but it was parked in the exact same place, and the window on the driver's side was open exactly the same amount. Nika was not sure why grown-ups sometimes said things were not there when they were. She thought maybe they needed more time too. She put her uncle in the category of people who needed more time and ate her cereal. Tyler puts his phone face down on the table. He finishes eating. He washes his bowl and puts it in the rack the way Gloria taught all 3 of her children to do. He goes upstairs. He does not answer Deshawn's messages. Not yet. Marcus Carter arrives at Diane Foster's office on Superior Avenue at 8:15. She's already there. The lights are on. The door is unlocked. And there is a second chair pulled up to the desk that was not there yesterday, which means she was expecting him, even though he did not call ahead. He spreads the folder across her desk. She does not say anything. She picks up the first document and starts reading. Marcus sits down. He counts the seconds without meaning to, the way you count when you're nervous and trying not to look nervous. 11 minutes pass. She reads every page. She does not rush. He gathers the folder. As he stands up, he notices something on the wall behind Diane's desk. A framed photograph, 8 by 10, black and white. A street in Cleveland. A row of houses, modest, close together. The kind of houses that entire families grew up in and grew old in and expected to pass on. He recognizes the street. It is 4 blocks from his house. He has walked it his whole life. The houses in the photograph are gone. He knows that because he knows where they used to be and what stands there now. He does not ask Diane about the photograph. He files it the way he files everything, carefully in the back for later. On the 14th floor of a building on East 9th Street, a man named Stephen Price is reviewing a file. Stephen Price has been Richard Caldwell's attorney for 18 years. His name appears on no public documents related to any Caldwell property. That is not an accident, and it is not a coincidence. The file he is reviewing today contains the Carter address, and the name Marcus Carter, and a note from someone in his office that Marcus Carter has been seen entering the legal aid office on Superior Avenue 3 times in the past week. The last time was this morning. Price closes the file. He picks up his phone. He does not call Caldwell. He calls a number that is not in any directory, a number that belongs to a man who handles the kind of situations that require handling quietly. He speaks for 45 seconds. He hangs up. He opens the next file. At the Lakeside Industrial Plant on Nottingham Road, James Carter is called off the factory floor at 10 in the morning. Not to management, to HR. He walks down the same hallway he has walked for 30 years and sits across from a woman named Karen who has worked in this office for 6 years and has clearly been told what to say before he arrived. Karen tells him this, the way people tell you things they have been instructed to tell you, looking just past him, not quite at him, the words arriving in the right order, but with no one home behind them. He goes back to machine number 7. He folds the form and puts it in his coat pocket. He stands at the machine that has been his machine for 22 years, and he works through the rest of his shift without missing a single beat. Every movement exactly as it has always been, and he does not look at anyone, and no one looks at him. On the drive home, he does not take the form out of his pocket. He puts it in the glove compartment instead. He drives down Nottingham to St. Clair, across to Superior, south on East 105th. He knows every pothole. He knows which lights run long. He drives the whole route on memory, which is lucky, because he is not entirely present for any of it. Dinner at the Carter house. The whole family at the table for the first time since the letter arrived. James, Gloria, Marcus, Destiny, home between shifts, still in her work uniform from the diner, Nia asleep in the back room for the hour and a half she gets before Destiny has to leave for the call centre. Tyler at the table with his phone face down beside his plate, which Gloria notices the moment she sits down and does not mention. The table sits with this for a moment. with the specific weight of something that is good news and terrifying news at the exact same time, which is the most complicated kind of news there is. The table goes quiet. Not the uncertain quiet of people searching for an answer. The quiet of people who have already found it and are not ready to say it out loud in front of each other. James looks at the tablecloth. Marcus looks at his folder. Tyler looks at his phone face down on the table. Gloria reaches across and puts her hand over Destiny's hand. Under the table, Tyler's phone lights up. He does not pick it up. He looks at it, the glow of it through his fingers where his hand is resting on his knee. One message. One word. He does not need to look at it again to know what it says. He knows what Deshawn's one-word messages mean. He turns the phone face down on his knee. He picks up his fork. He does not eat. James clears his throat. Gloria is getting up to clear plates she doesn't need to clear yet, the way she moves when she needs her hands to be doing something. And James says her name once, quietly, and she stops and sits back down. He takes the reclassification form out of his coat pocket. He sets it on the table. He says it the way he says everything that costs him, plainly, without decoration, the facts in order, nothing extra. He does not say what it means for the money. He does not need to. Everyone at this table can do that math in their head in under 10 seconds, and every one of them does. The table is completely still. The Caldwell Properties letter. The HR reclassification form. 48 hours until Diane Foster calls. The Carter family is sitting at their kitchen table on a Wednesday evening in November, and every wall is moving. The back door opens without a knock. Rosie Washington sets a paper bag on the counter and announces that these are the last of the preserved tomatoes. The ones from Ruth Ann's September recipe. The ones she said had to be done in September or not at all. The ones he has been meaning to bring over since October. He says he found them on the second shelf of his pantry when he was looking for something else. He says Ruth Ann would have had something to say about him just now finding October's tomatoes in November. He says this with a small private smile he carries for all his Ruth Ann stories. He sits down at the table. Gloria tells him about the HR form. Marcus tells him about Diane Foster and the 48 hours. Destiny tells him about the 5-day deadline on the reclassification. Rosie listens to all of it without saying a word, which is unusual enough that everyone notices. Rosie Washington has an opinion about most things before they are finished being described. Tonight, he just listens. When they are done, he picks up the Caldwell Properties letter from where it is still sitting on the table, and he reads it the way he read it yesterday, all the way through, carefully, like a man who believes in reading things completely before responding to them. He sets it down. He straightens it on the table. He thinks for a moment. The Corrigan steel plant on East 71st closed in the spring of 1987. 12 families on Rosie's block lost their primary income in the same month. Some of them had been in their houses for 20 years. Some of them had parents who had been in those houses before them. The neighborhood had just come through the riots of '68 and the plant closures of the '70s, and people on that block knew what losing something looked like. When the plant closed, 3 families left within 6 months. 4 more were behind on their mortgages by the end of the year. Rosie stayed. He was at the post office then, same route he'd had for 9 years, and the post office did not close, and the route did not change, and every morning he got up and went to work and came home, and the house was still there. He watched his neighbours leave. He watched the ones who stayed. He noticed the difference between the ones who bent and the ones who broke. And what he noticed, what he has been thinking about since James put that reclassification form on the table, is that the ones who broke were not the ones with the least money. They were the ones who stopped believing the house was worth fighting for. The table is quiet. James looks at the reclassification form. Gloria looks at James. Marcus looks at the folder. Tyler looks at his phone face down on the table. Marcus's phone rings. He looks at the screen. He pushes his chair back and steps away from the table to take it. The conversation is short. Under 2 minutes. He comes back. His face has changed in the specific way it changes when he has already processed something and is now deciding how to present it. Gloria nods. She gets up and starts clearing plates. Actually clearing them this time, not as a displacement activity, but because the meal is genuinely over and the kitchen needs tending, and Gloria Carter tends things. Rosie stands to help. James sits with his hands flat on the table, looking at nothing in particular. Nobody at the table says anything about the box. Marcus is already thinking about Diane's call. Gloria is at the sink. Tyler is looking at his phone. Gloria keeps her back to the room, her hands in the warm water. She's thinking about a different box entirely. The one on the high shelf in the hall closet. The one she looked at this morning and did not open. The one she decided at 5:15, with Nia pressed against her leg, that she was going to open today. Today is almost over. And she has not opened it yet. Late night. The house has settled. James is asleep. Marcus is at the kitchen table with the folder open, but his eyes not moving across the page, thinking, not reading. Nia is in the back room, deep asleep, the rabbit tucked against her side. Destiny left for the call centre at 8:30. Gloria has been in the bedroom for 20 minutes, but the light under the door is still on. Tyler is on the front porch. He's not on his phone. The phone is in his pocket. He is sitting in the dark in the same chair he has sat in since he was old enough to sit there, looking at the street that has been his street for all 19 years of his life. The car is gone. The street is empty. Cleveland in November, 10:30 at night. Quiet in the specific way that a neighbourhood goes quiet when everyone has gone inside and the cold has settled and there is nobody left to perform being okay for. Rosie's words are still working through him. Tyler has been turning this over since the table, trying to figure out which side of that line he is standing on. He knows what he has been doing for Deshawn. He knows what Deshawn is. He is not a person who lies to himself about what a thing is. He just lies about what it means. He takes out his phone. Deshawn's message is still there. The one-word message. Tyler reads it. He sits with it for a long moment, the phone screen bright in the dark of the porch, his face lit by it, the street dark beyond him. He types something, one word. He sends it. He puts the phone back in his pocket. Tyler sits on the porch for another few minutes. Then he goes inside. The porch light goes off. The street is dark. And then, at the far end of the block, barely visible in the shadow between two streetlights, a pair of headlights. Not moving. Engine off. Not the black sedan from before. Not the dark blue car from this morning. A different one. A third car. Someone is watching this house. They've been watching it for longer than the Carter family knows. And whoever it is, They are not in a hurry. Inside the house, at the back of the hallway, the light under Gloria's bedroom door goes out. The house is quiet. The street is dark. The car at the end of the block sits without moving. It has been there for 11 years. It can wait one more night. And in the dark, in a voice so quiet it barely carries past the closed door, Gloria Carter says something to herself, the way she says things when she believes no one can hear. The house is quiet. The street is dark. The car at the end of the block does not move.